Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Mike with smartoptiontrading.com. It is Sunday, the 16th of March. This is my week ahead video. It's going out for free today because I just can't do charts today, guys. I'm sorry. It's been a long weekend and I'm trying to get things straightened out here. Members should be fine most of the week. We should have no problem. So let's talk about where we're at. We're coming to this week. We come into um, options expiration for the month of March. It's on Friday. And we also come into Fed week. The Fed decision here is on Wednesday. So when you look at the economic calendar, courtesy of Trader Exchange, you can see here we have retail sales on Monday morning. That's a big one. Fed decision and the press conference more important at 2 and 2:30 on Wednesday. And outside of that, there's no real data here that's going to move us. We're going to get John Williams speaking as the first Fed person on Friday. When we look what else is going on out there and we look at earnings, we're into the very end of earnings season, which means, hey, we're only a couple of weeks away from a new earnings season. There's names. You got names like XPEV out here and stuff. But really, for me, the interest today is PDD to see what they say in China. And then when Thursday night after the close, Nike, Micron, and FedEx are very interesting to me. And then we have Lennar as well and CCL early on um, Friday morning. So let's talk sentiment as we go into this week. So, I'm a big sentiment guy. We talked about it. We know next week is typically a bullish week in the market. This is typically when the market turns around after a weaker second half of February and first half of March. So on the oscillators on the Nasdaq, we're negative 27. We don't have a good signal. We have been struggling to get any kind of good signal, right? We come down, we start to touch this negative 200, and we come right off of it. So we're neutral. Nothing wrong there. Okay, well, this is where we're at. New York Stock Exchange, negative 39, same thing, neutral. Advanced decline lines. Saw a big uptick in this across the board. A lot of strength in the SPX here on Friday. So everything turned up. Market breadth, nice turn up here on the New York Stock Exchange, turning back up. And even the NASDAQ, which put in an all-time low here on Thursday, nice big bounce on market breadth there on Friday. Put the call, we start to get a bearish signal for the first time through this whole entire mess, and right back to the neutral zone. Again, I think a lot of the daily options screw that up. And high versus lows on the NASDAQ, plus 49 versus negative 176. So we're still heavily inverted here, but we're getting narrower, right? So that's good, right? Highs versus lows on the S&P 500, plus 25 versus negative 28. So we're almost back to break even. So you can see things kind of came back around, things looking a little bit better as we head off into this week. ES came down and it found support around this 5500 area, just above it. Came in, held on Thursday. Friday, we never got there and it pushed up. You're going to hear me talk a lot about the 8-day today. On everything we look at, we need to clear the 8-day. The NQ, similar there, came down. Crude, continues to be overall weak. Under 70, that's generally good for stocks. It's not dying, going down badly, but it's weaker, and that means prices are cheaper, and that's good for inflation. Bonds, you had this nice rally on bonds, and they've come back off. We'd really like bonds to hold up and strengthen so rates can continue to come down. Gold put a new all-time high in on Friday before it reversed. Big move there. By the way, silver doing the pushing high as well. Bitcoin remains kind of stuck. It's up off the lows. It had a nice hold of the 200-day on the futures chart. And overall, not doing anything here right now. And there's the VIX. The VIX has closed back inside the Bollinger Bands the last four sessions and gotten obliterated from just shy of 30 back into the 21 area. If this is, this is saying risk on. The VIX is saying everything's good now. You should be buying. We should be looking to be long and not short here. We'll see if this holds this week, right? There's things that can happen. This has been a very tough little area, but overall, the VIX had a month here of elevating itself and is now coming back down. HYG, nice bounce with the markets. Never was as weak as the markets, but it came in. The transports have been ugly. Nothing good to say there. The dollar remains weak. This is good, right? So we're well off the highs here. The dollar remains weak. Weaker dollar is good for stocks, right? No dollar, no headwinds there. All right, so we'll go right to the SPY. I'm going to talk real quick here. 551.90 was the 10% correction. We are in a correction in the market. Some Qs have been there for a long time. We've bounced here. So the next big level take is the 8-day at 565.14, and then work your way up. Bear in mind, you have a gap here. 569.54. There's a gap that comes all the way up to the close of that candle, 575.92. That's where the 21-day is going to be opening up around on Monday. So, as you push up, touch the gap, need to clear the 200-day, and then the 21-day. Those are your next big levels to clear to get going. If this is a head fake and we're doing just a dead cat bounce, which it could be, we talked about watching that 448 level. Where do we hold? Wow, look at that. Pretty damn good. 449.68, just missed it. So 448 still remains an area I like here, right around this 448, 448.50. And then I would watch that 540. That's your next big level there at 540 on the S&P 500. All right. The Qs went into correction long ago, still we remain well under a 10% correction here. All right. So what do we want to talk about? Let's talk about sectors. The financials, big move on Friday coming up. They were one of the leaders, right? They've turned back up, got to the 8-day, couldn't break through it. Watch them. JP Morgan, not quite as strong to the 8-day, but held the 200-day nicely. One of the stronger ones. Goldman, same thing. Citigroup, another one that's been strong. Wells Fargo, already above the 8-day. So, right, so you can see some of the strength that's coming into there. Bank of America back to it. You get the idea. Keep an eye on those sectors. Energy, big candle on Friday. See if we can take the 200-day. Chevron has been best in breed, though it's stuck. Does pay you a nice dividend to sit around, though, $1.71. Needs to really break above 160 and then through 162, but overall holding in better. The other thing to watch is see how these safety names continue to react. We saw some of them getting beaten up pretty good. Coke came down big. Pepsi, to me, this is a good sign. These are coming in. Johnson and Johnson, BMY, right? If these things start to fly up again and the market's not, that means they're running back into these safety dividend plays. Otherwise, these are good places. Otherwise, if they continue to come in or go sideways and the market starts to turn up, if they're telling you that they're looking for risk. What else? Let's talk retail. Retail's a cluster F, guys. Every retailer's coming out. They're warning about the consumer. The problem is really the consumer. We can blame the White House for everything, and the White House has definitely played a role in it and the uncertainty around the tariffs. But the truth is, the consumer has been in trouble, and the consumers, and this is just adding to the misery and the concerns. So look at Costco below the 200-day. Been a year, hasn't been below the 200-day, right? You look at this chart and you say, okay, when was the last time it was under the 200-day? 2 years? No. You get the idea. Very, very strong name. Look at a 5-year weekly chart. 50-day would be the 200-day, right? It's been a while. It's been all the way back since here into 2022 and the summer of 2022 or spring. So big spot here. Costco, Costco's best in breed. That's why we look at it. Needs to reclaim that 200-day to feel any kind of good with it. Watch to see how they react. I'm going to tell you what they think of the consumer. Walmart, the other one, just missing the 200-day, but weakening and coming in. Okay. These have all gotten beaten up pretty good. What else, guys? Let's talk the semis. The semis led. So you look at this chart, the semis came down. We held this 210 area. We did not put a 52 weekend low, and which was notable because I thought we might. And we had a nice bounce, and we're leading the market, closed on the highs, and reclaimed the 8-day, opening the door back up to this 230 area. Obviously, you want to watch the leaders. Nvidia, nice bounce, 1, 2, 3, 4 days. I'm along a little bit over the weekend. Broke back above the 21-day and broke back above this trend line. Okay, if it wants to run now, we start watching for that 200-day and the 50-day coming together up here at 127. Again, they're going to want to go for the leaders if they want. These are the ones to watch. Avgo holding the 200-day, not as strong, going sideways, but again, great earnings, great guidance. We want to watch that. Everybody keeps saying, Mike, AMD. I'm in the stock. I'm red on it. I own it for a while. I will add to it at some point because I made it so I could add plenty to it. But right now, to me, it's got to clear something. So it got up here into the above the 8-day, has not been able to clear this little range around this 101.50 area, and then it needs to take out the 21-day at 103.49. Notice the 21-day, the red line. All right, since this started here, above it, back down on earnings, couldn't hold it, failed, gapped up briefly, back down, failed. So that's your big spot there. Intel, which I own options on for the January, I'm in them for a buyout. Now, I'm wondering now if there is going to be a buyout of any kind here with a new CEO. Typically, boards do not put new CEOs in unless they're putting one in specifically to negotiate a buyout, unless they're looking to turn it around. My guess is they're going to be looking to try to turn it around, although they would not be surprised if they sold part of their foundry business to Taiwan Semi in an attempt to make it better and to support it, get it going, running better. Bottom line, we'll see. I think I'm in the 30 calls for January. I don't remember. I have to go look. Needs to clear 25. So we'll keep an eye on that one, see how it responds. All right. So Semi is showing some strength. Qualcomm not doing much. Taiwan Semi overall not doing much. Still needs to clear the 8 day. All right. So we'll take a look around. Crypto names. Not a lot going on here. Unless until crypto takes off, this sector is not so great. Coin couldn't even get into an inside candle. The strong day in the market bounce couldn't even get closed red on the day, actually, down from where it opened. Green on the day, but red from where it opened. MSTR has been a little bit stronger, holding a 200-day nice bounce. See if it can take out that 318.87, the 50-day, and 320 for a room up to 340 area. I would choose that one over them. Let's talk China names. China, seeing some strength. China's pumping like mad. Is it working? Doesn't seem to be, but doesn't mean the stocks aren't moving. FXI, new 52-week high. BABA has been best in breed, needs to clear that 145.36 area. We're going to get PDD this week, which is not doing much. JD's also not doing much. Get the idea. It is really about specific names in the sectors, BABA being the one that's doing most of the heavy lifting. What else, guys? Let's talk about FinTech. Firm, quickly. I like the earnings report. I do not like what's going on in the consumer. I am iffy on names like Affirm and PayPal right now. Okay, they need to clear the 8 day here. Block XYZ. No, hey, I just stupidest freaking symbol name ever changed. They all need to clear the 8 day. I'm worried about them. Hood, we should talk about. Hood has been best in breed. Came back down, got beaten up. Back above the 8 day and the 100-day gets more interesting to me. If not, watch for a move off the 200-day. Palantir, everybody's saying, I want to own it, I want to own it the 50-day. Well, here's your chance. If you really like Palantir, this is the spot to be watching it. It came down, didn't get to the 100-day. It's bounced. It's still showing relative strength versus the market. Still showing an appetite for it. So I'll keep an eye on that. Rest of the software sector, CRM, Snow, and I'm iffy on. Snow, by the way, still has plenty of gap if we roll back over to get itself back down to 128. Let's touch base on Crowd real quick. Crowd, nice 3 day bounce. Their report was not as bad as they made it seem, but overall, Crowd remains weak. It can work its way back up here. All right, let's go to big cap tech and the different names there. Let's start off with Netflix. Netflix finally capitulated, came down, and it's worked its way back to the 8 day. I would try it above, if you like it, above 925. I really don't target this name that much anymore because it's just gotten too expensive. It moves too quickly. It needs to split. But a move back up to 948 is possible there. Meta also capitulated, kind of in no man's land. Not a very strong bounce with the market on Friday, right? Can't even get to the 8 day. 200 day still down here. If we're weak, I would take a trade to short this to the 200 day. Another one I wish would split here. Can this run back up? Yep, it can, but it really needs to get back above the 8 day and the 621 area and the 100 day. Apple just got absolutely obliterated last week. 4 hard down days here. We have a dead cat bounce inside candle on Friday. That's all it could muster. It is still extended to the downside, way off the 8 day, right? So maybe want to bounce up in the area, may want to come back up a bit and try to reconnect with it. Maybe even try to bounce to 220, and then we'll see what happens with the 8 day. If not, you start watching down here, we'll see where it wants to end up. But you look around, you say, Mike, where's support? Well, the real next big support is down here, the 197 area. So just keep that in mind. Amazon also kind of in limbo. Can't get back above the 8 day. It had multiple failures over here, but it's trying to get to the 8 day. While the market's correcting, it's trying to get there. Needs to retake 200. 200 is a big emotional level. There's been a lot of volume trading around there. Above that, the 8 day and the 200 day, I like it. If it cannot hold, it is a gap fill all the way down here to the close there to 186.40. So if the market rolls over, there's a nice short sitting in there. Google, um, similar, can't find the strength, can't get back above the 8 day, no gap here, and it is on a strong support. So one of the reasons Google's holding in this area around this 162 area, it's got a lot of support here. You can see it based in here. This is where it based before it started moving up. So if it can't hold there and it really breaks below 160 area, then it's open to testing back down here to 147. Again, we need to clear the 8 day. Oh, who haven't we talked about? Oh, I know. Tesla. Listen, Tesla's been very good to me during this stretch. I've gotten pretty good with quick longs and shorts on Tesla, and it gives both each and every day. Tesla, again, relative strength, not so much, but off the lows, needs to clear the 8 day, just missed it on Friday. We get above the 8 day, we can push. And there's a long way to push. Look at the 21 day, all the way up here at 286. There's your 200 day. It's also where we broke down to this 284.60. That would make a very interesting area if we can get back up to it. And we'll see. If we cannot hold, we lose 200. You know, I'm sorry, lose to 220 area. Gap finishes filling down here to 230. Give me an exact number. 213.65. And I still see selling pressure in Tesla, just not as much as it was up here. I love when people say it's bottomed. Based on what? What's changed? Nothing's changed in Tesla. And nothing's going to change until we get the next report. You are a long-term investor and you want to start nibbling some stock here, go for it. If you're just, you want to day trade it, go for it. If you're buying it saying the bottom's in, it's going to rip back up. Stocks that do this typically don't rip back to the upside. When you have a mountain trade like this, typically you get many, many months of sideways consolidation before you get any kind of move out of it if the bottom is indeed in. So with that said, I'm going to put a link in the description below if you want to join us in Discord and Zoom every day. I'd love to have you at our trading room. Hope you're all doing well, and everybody in members, I'll catch you bright and early on Monday. Sorry for no video tonight. Things are just a little hectic.